In this course, we're using an unconventional method of giving you feedback. It's called DONRAGS. We want to explain to you what it is and why we're doing it.
Here's how it works. At the end of the term, you'll come by yourself into a conference room. As you listen, we, your professors, will have a conversation about you. We'll discuss your strengths and weaknesses and key insights you've shared during the semester.
Now, what makes DONRAGS unique is that we'll be talking about you, but not to you. You'll be sitting in a chair behind the table where we're seated. You can take notes, but we won't ask you to respond until the very end. The whole interaction will last about 15 minutes.
The goal of DONRAGS is to give you meaningful, high-impact feedback. Studies show, and so do our experiences, that it can be hard for students to internalize feedback like, say, written comments on a paper. College is kind of a pressure cooker. It's hard to not just worry about grades or to read the comments on things and then just move on to the next assignment. DONRAGS is a way to really make you pause and listen to the feedback that can help you grow.
Now, if you're thinking that this sounds like the worst possible thing that could happen, don't panic. Yes, DONRAGS can be a little intimidating, but remember, we're on your team. We're not here to shame you. We're trying to help you see your own strengths and growth areas.
The DONRAGS will take place the last week of the semester. To prepare, you'll undertake 2 important steps earlier in the term.
First, near the start of the term, you'll fill out a survey reflecting on your strengths and your weaknesses as a class participant. You'll also set goals for yourself in the course.
Then, around midterms, we'll conference with each of you one-on-one. Unlike DONRAGS, here you'll do most of the talking. We'll ask you to evaluate your initial survey responses and your progress towards your goals. We'll also ask you to assess the whole class dynamic and your role in it.
So hopefully these 2 steps will make the final DONRAGS sessions less daunting and more tailored toward your goals.
Now for the grading. One of the goals of DONRAGS is to de-emphasize things like points and letters, so you can actually focus on feedback that helps you learn.
Still, we want to give you credit for the time that you're putting into the exercises. So with that in mind, you can receive up to 5 points of what we're calling completion plus credit for each of the stages in the process. That's 5 points for the survey, 5 points for the conference, and 5 points for the DONRAG. So 15 points total.
After each stage, we'll give you a checklist of items. Things like, I came to my conference prepared, or I answered the questions as honestly as I could. You will self-assess whether you did, in fact, meet those criteria. As long as you meet the basic criteria, you'll get full credit.
Okay, so one final question that you probably have is, why is it called DONRAGS?
The answer is very British. The tradition started at Oxford University in England. Dons were heads of departments, and to rag meant to criticize. So, in ye olden days, DONRAGS was the time at the end of the term when professors would criticize their students.
Now that's not quite our goal, but the name DONRAGS is just too good to give up. We hope it can be a feature of your experience in the Sheedy Family Program, and one that stands out to you as both important and formative.